So what we'll talk about today is something that's applicable to anything that you're growing, but it's much more dramatic with squash. And that's the fact that when you're growing, you really have to keep up on picking, because we'll go down to these two. These are just two green squash. So you can see nice looking plants, everything is fine, and then one larger fruit for each. But you don't see any other fruit anywhere else on the plant. And that's due to the fact that when the plant, this tiny little plant, is producing a larger fruit, which is probably heavier than it is and size-wise, probably at least quarter of it, it's a huge energy drain. If it's a huge energy drain, the plant notices that and is not going to throw off many more flowers, because it's not going to be able to sustain a lot of fruit at once. So the plant knows what it can and cannot do, and when it's draining energy towards one particular area, it will then decrease everything else. So yes, you might get one beautiful fruit, it looks good, you want to go larger, but once you pick that, then you're left with a plant that doesn't have another fruit, so you have to wait. Squash is nice because it produces these things quite readily, but you need to be able to produce much more flowers as the fruit is growing, because if you don't, you're not going to get that succession in grabbing out more squashes. So I'm a little behind in the squash because they grow so quickly, but you can see a plant like this that I'm keeping up on it, where the squash is little, it's still producing flowers, and right now the first wave, it's got 4 on it, so I can probably pick a couple of those. But definitely the ones where I have larger ones, I really don't have much anything else. So here's another larger one, I really don't have anything else. This one had a large one on it, doesn't have anything else. So you have to keep up on harvesting. If you don't keep up on harvesting, you're just going to delay any sort of additional growth or flowering and any of that to produce more fruit. So squash is definitely the plant that you have to pick every single day pretty much, because these things, such as this, grow within 2 or 3 days. Especially when it rains, it sucks up all that water, puts it into the fruit, and then you're done. So main lesson here is keep up on the harvesting within 2 or 3 days. Keep pulling, even if it's not as big as you'd like. It will provide much more benefit long term.